coach, the John Madden legacy game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and whose impact on the sport of football certainly is going to live on for decades and decades to come. Now, we've assembled a couple of rosters featuring some of Coach's favorite players from both yesterday and today. And Coach himself will be on the sidelines for both squads, trying to motivate his guys to victory. I'm joined now by my good friend Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football, brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
The Coliseum back to its original 70s glory. What a scene in the East Bay. And we're underway in the John Madden legacy game. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL and then in the NFL in the early 70s. The coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
Nowhere to go that time. Got a yard up to the 25. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over in Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon, and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, it makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. On the draw, here's Sanders. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st-round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp, actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. And it was there during that time, I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy who could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
Second down, and back they go to Sanders. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
8th play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. To throw is Favre. That's swung out wide to Sanders. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. So we're through one at the Coliseum in Oakland. 0-0 our score. This is the John Madden Legacy game on EA Sports. The NFC with the football here to begin the second quarter as they go to work on a 1st and goal. Sanders will score. It's an NFC touchdown. It finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Morton Anderson down for the extra point. His kick is good, and the NFC goes up 7-0. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And Barry Sanders, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. And Hall not going to bring this one out. So Charles, as mentioned, we've got another Coach Madden over here on the AFC sideline. Of course, his Raiders, members of the AFC West. So this is a conference he battled in for his entire career. And you think about the landscape of the NFL as he was getting into the back half of his tenure. It was a golden era for coaches. You had Don Shula, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bud Grant. But it was John Madden who had the best winning percentage of them all, CD. 7. Best ever.
Brandon, it's hard to believe he could be so successful in a conference with all those great teams. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. The Dolphins won 2 and were a mainstay in the playoffs. The Colts were tough. The Broncos came on late and went to a Super Bowl themselves. But against Hall of Fame coaches, John Madden's record, 36, 16, and 2. That's pretty incredible. His Raiders were a factor each and every year.
To try again after the sack. Brady. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Brady. And that is incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return, Hester. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the NFC will take over 1st and 10. With the NFC offense coming out here, and you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game. And if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling the coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business. And every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon, Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately, helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968, and that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 30.
Tries for Rice, intercepted. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. 2 minutes remain here in the first half of the John Madden Legacy game. We'll be back. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. Now a toss play. Allen. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Brady saying, let's go, as he'll hustle him to the line. He finds his man, complete. That's Gonzalez. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. In 10 seasons as a head coach, the Raiders won their division 7 times. They finished second the other 3 times, and he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And when you think about it, that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root, as did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stable, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff, tight end Dave Casper, to name a few. How about those great linemen he had? Center Jim Otto, guard Gene Upshaw, tackle Art Shell, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Mad Stork himself, Ted Hendricks, Willie Brown, John Matuzak, Otis Sistrunk, and Big Ben Davidson. So many great players, so many great memories.
Brady now on first down. Well, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. On the toss, here's Allen. Now the AFC going to take a timeout. It's their second as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now Brady. And this one is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, that's the first thing the coach tells his defense. Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better putting the ball in the air.
Now the NFC going to take a timeout, their second, as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Play fake. Now here's Montana. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Play action. It's Montana. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Montana. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now the AFC going to use their final timeout of the half, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. Back deep, 2-time Pro Bowler Dante Hall. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the AFC making their way out, and it's one of Coach's favorites, another local guy, Tom Brady, who will be at the controls. And boy, Coach always admired the way number 12 could run an offense, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure.
Tom Brady is a guy who's always looking downfield. He never looks at the right.
Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley.
What comes to mind when you hear the name Madden? Is it the coach who led the Raiders to their first Super Bowl victory? Perhaps it's the broadcaster who entertained millions of fans. Or maybe it's the video game known simply by his name. But no matter what comes to mind when you hear the name Madden, everyone thinks of one thing: football.
The core of it was football. It's the greatest game in the world.
The left goes to the right goes to the left.
Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. John Madden goes on the shoulders of his players.
In my mind, John Madden is the most important figure in the history of professional football. Show me somebody else who did it on 3 levels the way John did it. There's nobody.
Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducting coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. The second half forthcoming from Oakland. The AFC offense heading back out. You know, Charles, Coach really loved to utilize his tight ends in the pass. Think about Dave Casper, Hall of Famer for those great Raider teams. And I think he saw a lot of Dave Casper in an all-Madden staple, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is the type of tight end I think everyone's looking for. He's a guy that can make some big plays from that tight end position. Let me tell you, you better make sure you have him accounted for on every play.
And that's exactly right, because Dave Casper, he could shred defenses down the middle.
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown! Marcus Allen, 75 yards. And the AFC has taken the lead. Now Adam Vinatieri for the point after. And it's through, and that makes the lead at 10-7. Drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. There's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And they'll be working from behind now following the touchdown a moment ago on the opening drive of the half.
I think the guys right now, as they go out on offense, they're zeroing in on one big key. They don't have to do anything differently just because they're down on the scoreboard now. The intent is still the same in what they plan to do on offense.
And they go play action with Favre. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. And that's caught inside the 35. An explosive 38-yard pickup. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Smith going off tackle left. And able to get this to the 31. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42. He had just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try to run for it with Emmett. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. Smith trying to run for it. And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter play. 3 quarters complete now in the John Madden legacy game from Oakland. It's the AFC on top. And we're back to the Coliseum after this. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Shotgun snap, and then the give to Sanders. And the tough run gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to...
And this is going to be intercepted. Snatched by the safety Ed Reed. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So after the INT, it's Brady. And his throw here is incomplete. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on to call 8 Super Bowls together, but how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Allen. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. They keep it on the ground. Allen again. As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and it's scooped up by the NFC. Now he's loose down the left sideline. And in for the score. Are you kidding me? They return it, and they take the lead. And that is a tough pill to swallow. All they had to do, Charles, keep the ball, work this clock.
The only way for the defense to win was to force the fumble. And they did. Took it the other way for a score. And now, if you're the offensive team, it will take a miracle, perhaps, to win this ball game.
Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And the lead is now 14-10. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. No run back here for Hall, and this will come out to the 25. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. They start the drive with a give to Allen. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. To throw is Brady. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. Brady's throw on 3rd down there is incomplete. Now Brady got to have this one. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
Another try for Smith, and he's across for the late touchdown. And in the final seconds, that one should just about put a capper on this game. Well, this, of course, set up by the stop a moment ago on 4th down, and now that might be the score that puts this one officially out of reach.
And it's a tough one because your hands are tied when you're losing in the 4th quarter because you know you've got to make something happen. They couldn't pick up the 1st down, and after that, the air just went right out of the balloon, and you knew you were looking at a defeated team.
Now to try to add the extra point, the lefty Anderson. It's good, and it's 21-10. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Following the touchdown. Here's Anderson to kick it away. And Hall not going to bring this one out. The offense for the AFC set to go now. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
And we'll see if they go back to base. One last shot at the end zone. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And this is caught. It's Brown. Yeah, he's got this to the 30. So it's a win here for the NFC. Just an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. And before we go, one final message. And for all of us at EA Sports, this one's for you, Coach.
I just say this, I thank you all very much. This has been the sweetest ride of them all.